The difference between having zero in savings and having $1,000 is not just $1,000. The way financial decisions feel, the options available to you, the stress load your nervous system carries, all of it changes at specific thresholds in ways that aren't linear. I've been at almost every point on this spectrum, and the jumps that changed my life the most weren't the biggest dollar amounts. This is what each level actually looks like from the inside. At zero savings, every unexpected thing is a potential crisis. Your one car breakdown, one medical bill, one missed paycheck from a situation that forces you into debt or behind on rent. It's not just the money, it's the baseline anxiety that comes from knowing the margin is that thin. The financial stress that lives in the background of daily life when there is literally no buffer. And when you're at zero, the idea of $1 million is so abstract, it might as well be on another planet. But here's what I've come to understand. You don't need to get to $1 million for your life to fundamentally change. You need to get to the next threshold. And the thresholds are a lot closer together than they feel from the bottom. The question isn't how to get to $1 million. The question is, what does the next level actually look like, and what does it take to get there? Because that question has a concrete, achievable answer at every stage. Let me walk you through each one, what you have, what changes, and what the path forward looks like from there. Before we go through the levels, I want to name something. If you're at or near zero, that is not a moral position. It's an economic position, and in many cases it reflects circumstances and structures that made wealth accumulation genuinely difficult, not lack of effort. The United States has the highest income inequality of any peer-developed nation by most measures. The bottom quintile of earners faces marginal effective tax rates that, when benefit phase-outs are included, can sometimes exceed 80 cents on the dollar for each additional dollar earned. The housing market has compressed access to the single largest wealth-building vehicle, homeownership, for an entire generation of younger Americans in ways that are structural, not behavioral. I'm not saying this to offer an excuse or to promote victimhood. I'm saying it because if you're watching the savings levels I'm about to describe and feeling shame about where you currently are, that shame is not useful and it's not entirely warranted. The climb from zero is harder for the generation entering the financial system now than it was for the one before them. Knowing that is not defeatism, it's calibration. What you have control over is your direction and your habits. Those matter enormously. The external headwinds are real, but they don't determine your outcome. They just mean the path requires real intention, which is exactly what we're here to build. Let's go through the levels. Level 0. 0 to $499 in savings. This is the most financially fragile position. At this level, any surprise expense, medical, mechanical household, has a high probability of becoming debt. Financial decisions are made reactively. The primary psychological experience is stress and avoidance. What changes to move up? One subscription audit? One auto transfer setup? 1 month of intentional tracking. The goal is $500. Nothing more, nothing less. Level 1. $500 to $999. At $500, you can absorb most common emergencies without going into debt. A tire, a copay, a small appliance. The background anxiety drops noticeably. Not gone, but lower. Research from the Urban Institute found the most significant improvement in financial resilience happens at this exact threshold. Level 2. $1,000 to $4,999. At $1,000, you're covered for the most common mid-size emergencies. Car repairs, ER copays, last-minute travel for a family situation. You start making financial decisions from a slightly longer time horizon because immediate survival isn't the only thing on your mind. Level 3. $5,000 to $9,999. This is where genuine options start to appear. You can consider job changes without immediate panic. You can negotiate from a slightly stronger position. Financial decisions become less reactive. This level represents roughly 1 to 2 months of basic expenses for most people, and it's when the word security starts to feel meaningful rather than aspirational. Level 4. $10,000 to $24,999. Something shifts cognitively at $10,000. It's a psychological threshold as much as a financial one. You have genuine flexibility, the ability to handle multiple overlapping challenges without catastrophe. It's at this level that most people report their relationship with money changing from dread to neutrality, which is a dramatic quality of life improvement. Level 5. $25,000 to $99,999. At this range, you're looking at true financial stability, the ability to survive a significant income disruption, cover a major medical event, make large intentional purchases without debt, and have meaningful investment assets building in parallel. This is what financial security actually feels like, not the idea of it. Level 6, $100,000 and beyond. At this level, money starts working for you in a measurable way. Investment returns become significant annual income on their own. The compounding is visible. Options multiply. The path from here to financial independence, where your assets generate more than your expenses, becomes a real trajectory rather than an abstract goal. Level 7, $1 million. This is financial independence territory for many people. Assets generating enough returns to sustain expenses indefinitely. The 4% rule suggests a $1 million portfolio can sustain $40,000 annually in withdrawals indefinitely. Whether that's enough depends entirely on your cost of living. The point is not the number. The point is that every level on this ladder is reachable from the one below it with consistent, specific behavior over time. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. This progression is fine for someone without major debt, but if I have significant student loans or credit card balances, my net savings might go up while my actual financial position doesn't improve. This is real and worth addressing. Here's the distinction. Liquid savings and net worth are different things. Building a $1,000 emergency fund while carrying $20,000 in student loans means your net worth is still deeply negative. But the $1,000 buffer prevents you from adding to the credit card every time an emergency happens, which directly accelerates your debt payoff. The savings level ladder I described is about liquid savings. Cash you can reach quickly. Your net worth trajectory runs in parallel and improves as debt falls. Both matter. The liquid savings is what changes the day-to-day texture of your financial life. The net worth is what determines your long-term position. Build both sequentially, and the latter works even from a negative starting point. Remember what I said at the start? The jumps that changed my life the most weren't the biggest dollar amounts. Going from $0 to $500 changed how I made decisions more than going from $50,000 to $10,000 did. The first few thresholds are the ones that matter most, and they're also the most reachable. You don't need to think about $1 million today. You need to think about the next threshold from where you are. Name it. Build toward it specifically. When you reach it, the one after that will feel much more real. If this helped, subscribe. I put out one of these every week, and they build on each other. And if you want to go deep on what specifically changes once you hit $10,000 saved, because there's a lot more to it than just the number, I linked that video right here. Watch that one next.